Hi Virgo, welcome to the channel. My name is Ali from Indigo Ascension. If this is your first time here, please do go and check out the description box below to find out a little bit more about the work that I do as an intuitive energy healer and reader, where you will see links to my Facebook page and my website address. This channel is primarily dedicated to empaths, intuitives and sensitives, those that find themselves on the awakening journey. Now, you'll see fortnightly and monthly readings on my channel. So what I want to do with this fortnightly reading though, so this covers June 1 to 15. Now, if you haven't already, please do go and check your June monthly Practically Soulful reading, where I go in depth about the retrogrades. I'll do a quick recap now. But what I'm wanting to do differently, so a lot of my readings are on a soul level, I guess, as a healing, as an activation, as a confirmation, for what you might be integrating when it comes to higher wisdom and higher consciousness knowing, okay? But obviously, like we can all are aware of, like we can all see, there's a lot of volatility, there's a lot of human stuff going on in the collective right now. So by all means, just because we know things on a higher consciousness level, it is quite challenging yet to meet the spiritual classroom within our connections, within our challenges. But it is because it is those points that will be asking us to act, to practice what we preach. Yeah, thought, prayer, meditation is great and all, but it is not until we consciously, through our free will, choose action that we fundamentally start to create change. Otherwise, things will always stagnate and remain the same. So what I want to do is do your energy and then do the energy of the other. Now, the other can represent a person, it can represent your goal, your career, how you get from A to B, whatever the case may be. Virgo, intuit it, connect in, you know what your intentions are and what you're currently going through. That is your biggest focus of where you're trying to integrate high consciousness, okay? So that will be represented by the other, or the other side of the fence, whatever you want to call it. It might be a person, it might be a project, it might be your career. Name your thing, okay? And then I'll also take a look at the energy that binds you, okay? The wisdoms that's integrated between the two, and how we ultimately do bridge so that we can increase that compassion and awareness and whatever the case may be. And if I feel called, I'll pull out some soul cards as well to help link into what is ultimately the monthly themes for each sign. There you go, you're right at the top. King of Pentacles. You could also be connecting into a Capricorn or a Taurus, okay? The King of Pentacles rules Earth, yes, rules the realms of the coins in the tarot. The Strength card also fundamentally represents commitment, okay? So perhaps I'm talking and connecting into Virgos that are reassessing commitments and whatever it is, what they're wanting to plan, and that could definitely tie into business and love. The King of Pentacles rules business and love when it comes to what we're committing to, yeah, making long-term goals with, what we're marrying into our lives, into our plans, person, place or thing. Let's take a look, my lovely Virgos. All right, June's a hotbed of planetary activity, and the more we retreat from it, not to avoid it out of fear and refusal, but also to, but more importantly, to really give ourselves time away to individually respond to it and engage with it at our highest will and choosing. It's not about absorbing the energies of others and as they're emitting their own frequencies or whatever the case may be. It's this conscious effort of continually checking in with self, Virgo, so that we know we're always vibrating at the level we choose to. Yeah, free will and choice. We're not easily infected by the influences of everything else around us, so that we're always sovereign and free. Ten of Swords, Five of Wands, the Sun. I'm going to say this energy is you, and then I'll continue to clarify the King of Wands, the Two of Swords, and the King of Swords. Sorry, the King of Wands, Two of Swords, and the King of Swords. Okay, underneath all this is the Knight of Swords. You're definitely, well, this side of the fence is definitely heavy in the thought energy. Okay, but let's take a look at you, my dear. Yeah, there's a lot of swords on the table. You've come out of a time of truly understanding the role that betrayal can play, and how, like, I felt the need to really talk to you about the influence of energy, you know, and how we're absorbing the emissions of other people. You know, food is more than just something that nourishes us. I'm sorry, food is not the only thing that nourishes us. Energy nourishes us too. The energy of our memories, the energy of the actions of others, the energy of others. What we choose to breathe in doesn't just happen through our nose. It's the energy we are breathing and absorbing from everything around us, situations, people, whatever the case may be. This rules the realms of thought, yes, but I do want to say the beauty of the Ten of Swords. I'm a fundamentally big believer in not being terrified of any tarot that comes out. Know that it has a shadow and a light always. The last 10 years may be relevant here, okay? But this is all the times in life that we felt stabbed in the back by life, betrayed by people, let down, okay? I do see here that, you know, that it's almost futile. You may certainly have gotten to a point, whether it's in the realms of career, whether it's in the realms of where you're currently at, there was certainly a time when you felt like giving up. What's the point of trying? What's the point of opening up to life? Yeah. The gift of the Ten of Swords is that the worst is truly behind us. Like, you can't see it because there's a lot of darkness in that sky. So there's a lot of darkness around me. Yeah, but in the distance, and I can't even see it because I'm so focused on the minute here and now. And this is where you guys really understand how powerful your thoughts are, how you can laser focus for better or worse. Yeah, his face is just on the ground, literally not looking at anything else. There is no way that he's going to be able to see that there's a landscape there, that despite the dark sky, yes, so there's no end in sight per se to the darkness above. We feel like we will continue to wake up each and every day in darkness. But with his face down to the ground, he is not able to see that there's a whole mountain range that if he wanted to, he can get up and journey to see what he might discover in those mountain ranges. And instead of being so focused on that one thing, okay, he's actually focused on the landscape, he's focused on the hike, he's focused on the journey, and before you know it, it might be clear skies. So it's almost like the times that you even got up and healed, got up from times of betrayal, you looked up and went, God, it's all just still really dark. Felt like a big sigh of relief. I do see I'm talking to Virgos that are currently experiencing conflict, okay? Internal conflict, external conflict, feeling like they need to defend something here because we're moving into the Six of Wands, into the Seven of Wands. When the Five of Wands show up, there is an internal conflict going on, okay? I don't feel you are in this energy anymore, Virgo, but it is still a remnant influence. Have I truly left this energy? Have I truly... Is it true when they say that the worst truly is behind you? Like, I'm conflicted in wanting to revert back to old ways of thinking. Like I said, his head is in the sand. There is no way that he can even see the opportunity that there's a hike available that he can take a journey on and discover whole new ways of living, loving, experiencing himself. I'm not saying, God, hurry up and just get up. I get it. When we're in this state, we have to be in it to truly immerse. But there fundamentally will always come a crossroads and a point. And I feel like I'm connecting into Virgos that truly know what this feels like, and they fundamentally know what this feels like too. But you know what? 5 is the number of change. There are 5 planets in retrograde this month. And you know what, Virgo? So many of us, we desire change. We say it, right? I want change. I don't want my life to look like this. I wish I had, name your thing. But are we truly ready to embrace the consequences of the weight of that choice when we're actively choosing change? Because it can lead to that change that I'm wanting so bad. There is always going to be a possibility that it can be like that. So do we truly want change then? Because we are well within our rights to stay here, to stay in that mindset, stuck where we are. And what if, when it comes to change, when it comes to passion and excitement, all right, that's the Five of Wands energy, that's Wands energy. Wands can be passion, it can be exciting, it can be creativity, but in the Five, there is conflict. Now, do I associate passion and excitement with conflict? Do I find conflict exciting and passionate? Now, I know that sounds really warped, but I just want to make mention, if on some level we are used to chaos, do we expect it all the time? Do we think that is normal? Do we think it is normal to live like this, continually trapped in the concept that life will betray us because we've been betrayed so many times? People will betray us. There's a conflict here about really getting out of this mindset, and I'm not going to say you haven't, because I know what's coming up. But I also connect in, I feel like the need to connect a lot of these energies in. There's this chart energy happening for you, Virgo. You know, psychologically speaking, the environment that we grew up in is taught us a lot about what conflict is, what that energy feels like, and it can become normal to some degree that we're attracting that energy continually on some level. Like, you know, people that are always seem to have a drama or a chaos in their life, and they're needing to constantly be in conflict with others, or that can happen in little layers, big layers. We somehow normalize it to the point we think that is the only view, is what I want to say. Okay, there's hope here, but I do see the heaviness of how this keeps you feeling bound internally and externally. All right, so how do we deal with conflict? How do we deal with the past and the pain? Well, perhaps we need to walk into the sun. And it's not until we let the sunlight burn away every sense of darkness and density and confusion, yeah, that we can perhaps see everything clearly. There's a gift this month for you in the first 2 weeks of June, where you will be seeking the sun, you will be seeking clarity, you'll be wanting confirmation on some level, you'll be looking at turning your face to the sun. There's going to be a deeper calling, as much as this might have been the energy of recent weeks, and I'm thinking the last 5 weeks, okay? The last 10 years might tell a story here. You're going to be more deeply called to anything that feels like sunlight, anyone that feels like sunlight, experiences that feel like sunlight, okay? So it's almost a gentle reminder that the sun is eternal, earth is eternal, has been around for billions of years. You too are an eternal being, no matter what your age is. Yes, this happens in life, yes, but it is our consciousness that keeps us stuck there and continues to age in this energy that ultimately makes us feel conflicted, because we know that there is so much life ahead of us. We feel conflicted because we know that there is so much life ahead of us, and it is simply a spot in the timeline. As much as this is painful, as much as it made us feel like this, chaos, yeah? Pained, betrayed. Your life, in comparison to the potential long life that you will live, in comparison to all of your past lives you've ever had, that thing, even if it was a few things, was but a speck in your timeline. Now that is such a mind-boggling thing to comprehend, yeah? If I thought I was the center of my universe, humbly I will learn that where I currently reside right now on the globe is a simple, not even a pinhead. If I was to get the globe and then expand that further into the galaxy and expand it further still into the potential of the amount of galaxies that I'm currently residing within, how much does that massive focus give us true clarity about the reason why? Because that's what I'm feeling here. This is a need to understand why. This is 10, this is 5. I'm wanting an ending. I am conflicted about an ending. The 5 and 10 added together equals 16. This is the first step of harmony. 1 is beginning, okay? 6 is a number of harmony. 1 and 6 together is 7. There is a spiritual principle here when it comes to how we allow our energy and our thought faculties to ultimately affect our life force, Virgo. This is your solar plexus. So now, check in and ask yourself how much life force you have allowed yourself to experience when it comes to genuine free will, genuine choice to action, genuine self-confidence. How many times have you allowed yourself to shrivel away and feeling conflicted whether to shine or go back into old ways, old truths, old beliefs? There's this cha-cha energy here. It's interesting how the cards tell a story. Now, over this side of the fence, whether this is another person, whether this is between you and your ultimate goal, I feel very much the last 2 years, I feel like I need to tell it as a thread, the last 2 years have been pivotal for you to truly understand this energy of the wands and passion, excitement, creativity, sensuality, and the power of your mind. And how you've perhaps oscillated between truly engaging these two parts of yourself, okay? This is the masculine energy of both suits, okay? The King of Swords does not struggle with his thoughts because he has mastered them. He has, on some level, chosen the sun, chosen to see the wisdom of the journey, and he has integrated the wisdom, okay? To the point that he and the Queen reach a level of mastery above all the swords that come before them. He has mastered his thoughts. The King of Wands has done the same thing and completely mastered the strength and energy of the wands, because the wands can be so flighty, it can be non-committal, it can be aggressive, it can be passionate without logic and thought, and making thoughts based on passion, which can lead to our downfall. It can be having an experience, experiencing ourselves where we have a fundamental, amazing amount of energy, but we don't know how to exert it. Where do I put it? But once we get to the King of Wands, he has mastered the true essence and purpose of the wand energy. Sacral chakra, crown chakra. Okay, there's something about your sacral chakra, your confidence, your reproduction ability, what energy you are reproducing, how you're connecting into sensuality, okay? The sensual and graceful experiences of life. This is the creative expression of self, of who you are, okay? And how there's a requirement here for you to really redefine thought paradigms and how much this energy, your thoughts, influence this reproductive energy within you. And when I say reproduction energy, that's what the sacral chakra represents. What are we reproducing? What are we outputting into the world that we're fundamentally got percolating within us? And if I'm going in, when I see that there's something percolating, what do I see? Is it still this? There's been a 2-year journey here where you've been able to really decide, you know, this is, you can see, you know it's a fear, you haven't quite decided to pull the blindfold yet, okay? You're holding back on some level, but this is the potential. Now, if this is another person, all right, there's definitely an individual in your life, male or female, that ignites passion and ignites higher thought concepts, and you know, the King of Swords doesn't put up with BS. Like, it's the person you go to that will speak logically, intelligently, and just tell you how it is. The King of Wands is that it's passionate energy, that they are the sun. They know, you can feel their presence. They turn heads when they're in a room, okay? It might be an individual that embodies these two energies. You might be connecting into two individuals that represent these energies, okay? Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Okay, so I'll leave that up to you. But as an energy, as a person, you know, there's a 2-year story here. There's a holding back somewhat where they show you these two parts of themselves. You're perhaps feeling like they're holding back on some level. Okay, I want to actually clarify, because underneath all this there's this rush of energy. If this is an experience, Virgo, it's really going to help you remove the blindfold of fear so that you are no longer holding back, and you really activate these higher elements of your thought body and your energy body, okay? Is what I want to say. There's the energy of rushing in when it comes to the Knight of Swords. The energy that binds these two together. This can be you and your pathway, you and your career, you and that new project, you and a connection. The energy of loss, the Five of Coins, the Queen of Wands, the Lovers. Okay, so this might be a person, all right, that you're connecting into, and the energy that connects you guys together is the wisdoms around loss. On some level, you have both experienced loss. On some level, if this is a thing you're going towards, a project you're moving towards, you've learned a lot about loss. You have decided to walk away from something that wasn't quite the 10 of Pentacles for you, because it only ever got to the 5, okay? You're familiar with the Queen of Wands energy. You now have divine counterparts. The energy that connects you is the Queen of Wands, the feminine essence of that confidence I was telling you about earlier, that sensuality, that ability to just walk in a room and turn heads, and their energy is present, okay? You might share zodiac alignments with them when it comes to Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. It is this fire, that internal fire, you know, their internal fire connects to your internal fire. There's a passionate connection here, a creative connection, an energetic resonance, okay? Mutual sensuality, whatever the case may be. This thing, if it's a project, meets you where you're at, Virgo, okay? And activates also this project, this person, this idea, this new path, activates a balancing of your sacral chakra. This is the divine feminine, this is the divine masculine of your sacral chakra. I didn't even think of that, because look at this. It's the Lovers. Again, it is a union of a divine counterpart. Now, like, guys, this can happen in connection, yes, but this can happen in self. And when we go for our dreams, when we go for our goals, completely free, because we've integrated our fears and we've got clarity, when we go for these career paths, whatever it is, make these choices that we were perhaps once too afraid to do, it will bring us things that activate things within. And yes, people do this too. Lovers that we cross paths with that are of the divine order, because the Lovers card is divine love, activate a healing within us, activate an awareness or a re-exploration of these elements within us. You know, these guys are confident, they are full of vitality and life force and passion for path and each other. But it is an emotional, it is an energetic mastery of, because we know that wands, that passion can be hectic, it can be toxic, it can be fights, which eventually lead to that, yeah? We know that in the journey of the wands, we're gifted with the Ace of Wands, and that's great. And then we start graduating up and learning and integrating these wisdoms. We know that passion, okay? What is it? There's a title of a book, a title of a movie. The Sins of the something. The Sins of Passion, or something to that effect. We get what passion can be temptation. It makes us really cloud our judgment and lead us down astray, you know? Passion can make us be irrational and explode in anger. Yeah, but to truly get to a mastery of our energy body, this is what the wands represent, our sensual body, our sacral chakra, which is what we are continually creating and reproducing, because our sacral chakra rules the reproductive organs. Male or female, we are always reproducing something, and there's a very real possibility that we can continue to permeate this until we really get to the depths. We can continue to recreate this, all right? Because cellular structure keeps reproducing. Our thoughts and everything, whatever, our beliefs, we can continually reproduce these beliefs, this energy, until we shine the light of the sun. And that's what these guys are ruled by. This is sun energy. So on chakra levels, on energetic levels, work with the sun as much as you can. This is about you connecting into clarity of what you're truly connecting into here and activating, Virgo, and being able to do so in balanced mastery. Okay, this is wisdom at this level. This is the divine feminine and masculine who know how to master their energy body, who know how empowering sensuality and creativity is. And it is not just one thing or the other. And yes, there's a shadow element to it, and it can go this way or that way. When we're ruled by our passions, you know, when we're ruled by our anger, whatever the case may be. But we also know it is potent transformation energy. Whether we've been pregnant or not, Virgo, all of us are this potent transformation energy at conception. Okay, the divine feminine and masculine meet. There is a conception that takes place, and before that cell exists, there is an explosion of energy that is perhaps as brilliant as the sun when it comes to subatomic particles, or whatever you want to call it. This spark exists in all of life. It exists in the birth of the star. It exists in you, and it is perhaps the core blueprint of who you are and what we all are. So to say that I am stagnant and I can't change and that's the way life has always been is almost folly, because you are the light of the sun, you are life force, you are creative energy, and you can begin again wherever you are. There's been wisdom in the losses, okay? Practical knowledge gain. A choice to walk away, to cut our losses, all right? And you know what? Look at the difference here, guys. Look how they're walking. They're, yeah, okay, I'm walking, I'm still moving forward, I'm walking away. Do you think they're doing it with vitality? Now look at this one riding the back of a horse, riding on a horse. Do you think they feel they've got vitality? There's a difference, yeah? There's a difference. Heart, mind, body, soul, energy, whatever the case may be, Virgo. There's a difference in walking through life like this. Because I get it. They're moving. They're no longer down here. They're not really engaging in other people's BS and drama. But there's a difference walking our path like this, a shell of our former self, a fragment of our fullest realization and potential. There's a difference when we're walking through life like this and when we are walking through life like this. And perhaps in unity, when you unite, okay, whether this is a person, your goal, or going for that goal, when you unite in harmony, you truly activate divine love. Divine love, the merging of the twin flame, happens within. This is a merging of your higher and lower self. This is a merging of two beautiful, balanced hearts. Yeah, we experience divine love when we integrate the wisdoms, when we drop the fear, when we're willing to really master what the potency of our mind is for us, and see that perhaps we've been told, thanks to all of this retrograde energy, we're becoming more aware that society has told us that we need to experience self and life a certain way, yeah? What if there's a new way of thinking? What if there's a new way of looking at the power of the mind and how it can completely transmute fear? What if? Yeah? And can completely activate creative energy and transformation energy. Look at the inspirational stories. There are people out there that are human just like you, that have been like this and have lived like that. And then one day, boom, life force explosion. Just decided to turn their face to the sun. And this happened, this happened. And that's not about you connecting and getting approval from another. This is happening. This wants to happen in you so that you can experience it in your external reality. This is the relationship, the connection you have to you and to your higher self. The relationship you have to your purpose, your path, what is right for you. What feels like unconditional love in every choice you make for self. Because we know what this feels like. We already know what that feels like. We know what this feels like. We know what this feels like. And every day, we choose. Okay, Virgo, I was going to clarify that, but I've run out of time. I'm going to pull 3 soul cards though. There's a beautiful opportunity in the first 14 days of June. I get it. As an outsider, that's great, Ali. I don't think it's possible to just transmute my fears and then just activate my, I get it, guys. It's a process, yeah? But every day is a choice. And this is the invitation for you this month. This is the invitation for you in the first couple of weeks of June. And it's certainly a beautiful time for a mastery of understanding and integrating wisdoms rather than making complete rash decisions, okay? Forgiveness, purpose, honesty. Underneath all this is friendship. All connections are crossing our path, have crossed our path, will cross our path for a higher reason. And it will continue to happen until we've integrated whatever that connection means for you. Okay, whatever friendship and connections and influences that cause that denser energy, forgiveness is at play and is everything connected to the sensual and sacral chakra. This is an essential ingredient of activating powerful creative energy. And I get it as an outsider, forgiveness is a process in itself. Because you're wanting more so to connect into purpose. You are going to be seeing with clarity the purpose of everything that's ever happened before now. And that's about getting honest with self and others about what it is you truly want. Like I said, it's all well and good to say, as human beings, we say, I want change. How very many of us truly will then engage their sacral chakra to create that change and output some energy through choices, through deeds, through decisions, where we are no longer held in that 5 of Wands or 10 of Swords energy or the 2 of Swords energy, yeah? Okay, my lovely Virgos, I hope that resonated. If so, leave a message below. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and let other empaths know that my channel exists. Maybe they resonate to these soul healing readings too. All right, I'll see you next time for your final 2 weeks of June reading later in the month. Namaste.